What's going on, guys? I'm Ryan Roots.
And I'm Allie Roots.
And together we are Rally Roots. Do you get it? Like Ryan plus Allie equals Rally.
Yeah.
So if you've never been to our channel before, basically it's all about buying, selling, and traveling. So we talk a lot about buying stuff and then selling it. We're online resellers. We sell on platforms like eBay and Amazon. And then with our profits, we like to go travel. So really, that's all it's about.
Yeah, because of what we do for a living, we can travel. And so we wanted to share our knowledge with everybody, and maybe you can do it too.
So this video is going to be a little bit of a about us type video. It's different from our other ones. A lot of you guys requested that we tell you a little bit more about our backgrounds, our personal lives, how we got started in the reselling business, and a little bit about what we want to get out of this channel or why we started on YouTube in the first place. So that's what this video is going to be about.
Yeah.
But before we get started into the video, guys, if you do like the video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up. That's how we get recognized on YouTube. And
share it.
Yeah, and share it.
Yeah, please share it, guys. Help somebody out. Help a friend out. Help yourself out. Help your mom out.
So I guess we'll talk a little bit about our personal backgrounds. It's kind of weird for us to talk personal and not business, but we'll get into it a little bit for you guys. We actually went to high school together, but we weren't friends.
Oh, wait, I got this. I was in smart people classes,
Oh, okay.
as I like to call them, and Ryan was in like advanced weight training.
Fair enough. Actually, that is true. I did take advanced weight training.
Literally called advanced weight training.
I also took beginner and intermediate weight training. So.
Oh my gosh, to get to advanced. Go figure. So we were quite different in high school.
Yes.
At one point we were friends, and then we were no longer friends because we had a falling out. It was like a high school drama. It wasn't. Somebody told Ryan that I said something about him behind his back because you know how girls can be pretty catty. And I told Ryan I would never say something behind his back. I said if I had something to say to you, I would say it to your face. And Ryan goes, eh.
It's true.
I remember him sitting in a chair and being like,
get out of here.
He was cocky. He was kind of a jerk.
But a nice jerk.
Yeah, but not to everyone. Just at that moment, it was the only time you were ever a jerk to me. And I said, fine, because I was friends with his older brother. And I said, I don't need to be friends with you. I got tons of friends.
But probably all for the better, because if we had dated in high school, we wouldn't be together now, I'm sure.
We wouldn't even have dated in high school. We would have just been friends.
Yeah. But anyway, so what happened is we went to high school together. We weren't really friends. And then 2 years after high school, after we had graduated, Allison, did you find me on Facebook?
Is that what it was? Stop pretending like, Ryan always does this. He acts like he's the one who reached out to me. But because I was really good friends with Ryan's older brother, I reached out to him on Facebook because he commented on somebody else's page. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, is that Ryan? That's Sean's brother. Because I was really good friends with his older brother, and I lost contact with his older brother, and his older brother didn't even have a Facebook. So I sent him a message and said, hey, this is Allie. How are you doing? How are things? I saved that conversation for so long.
Yeah.
And then I deleted my Facebook, so I don't even know if that conversation would even still be there. And Ryan said, what did you say?
I was like, oh, well, this is what I said is different than what I was thinking. I was thinking, wow, that's Allie? She's super pretty. Let's try to get her over to my house.
But you were living in California at the time.
Yeah, I was living in California. But so we kind of connected on Facebook. And then when I moved back from California to Florida, I was living with my older brother, which was a perfect lead-in to get Allie to the house.
But we had exchanged numbers, and Ryan would text me all the time. Like every single day, he'd be like, hey, how are you? At least every other day, you know, you would be like, oh, good night. And we talked all the time, like through text. And this is whenever, man, I had an old phone. I had like a chocolate. I mean, that was
chocolate.
like,
I remember that phone.
I was so old that
like
phone. So, you know, you only had a certain amount of text messages.
True.
I never had a smartphone until we moved to Australia together. But that's later in this video.
Young love. So we ended up, Allie came over kind of to see Sean, mostly my older brother.
When you moved back?
When I moved back. And then we just hit it off. We reconnected. At first, actually, Allison thought she might be moving to Colorado. So we didn't start dating immediately. I really liked Allie. She really liked me. But we didn't connect at that point. And then Allison ended up not moving to Colorado. And that's where I kind of took my chance.
I was going to go to university at I think it was at just Colorado University.
Right.
Not Colorado State, it's Colorado University. This was a long time ago, guys, and I was going to join ROTC and then join the Air Force because I was concerned about not finding a job after college. And I figured that that was a good idea.
And then she met this entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. We got together when we were 20 years old, and now we're 29. So we've been together for 9 years. We've been married for 4 years? Almost 4 years?
We've been married for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Because we got married December 21st and June 21st happened. So that means we've been married for a full half a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been married for 3, and that's a long time.
Look at that math. Ugh.
Lucky you.
Lucky me. Lucky you.
What else can we tell you that's personal about our lives? Oh, here's something that a lot of you guys will definitely not know about us. We love to go to Comic-Cons, and we love to dress up and cosplay at them.
I am big into cosplay, and my favorite thing to cosplay is a unicorn.
Yeah. Allison started doing it. She went to a Comic-Con with her friend, and she dressed up and stuff. And I kind of wasn't into it at first just because of the stigma kind of around, you know, it's all nerdy and stuff.
And I was so excited because I had so much fun, and everybody at cons was so incredibly sweet and kind and nice and wonderful.
Yes.
And whenever I got back, I was like, Ryan, this is amazing. You got to do it. You're going to love it. And Ryan, being the good, wonderful person that he is, he was like, of course I'll do it with you. I support you. And I went and I bought him a Goku costume.
Dragon Ball Z Goku costume?
Yes, for Dragon Ball Z Goku. And I was like, you're going to be Goku. It's going to be great.
And it was so funny because the first one that we went to, Allison had her whole like outfit done and she was with her friends and stuff. And basically the whole time that we were there, it was me holding their stuff while people took pictures with them.
People I was like, really like unicorns.
Because their outfits were way better than mine. And at that point I was like, well, this isn't fair. I want to get in the action too. So we like redesigned my outfit. And now I do Goku from Dragon Ball Z and I do Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat.
And they're both battle damage.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a lot of fun. It really is. If you guys have never been to a Comic-Con, I would highly recommend going. It really is just a whole bunch of people, like-minded people, enjoying themselves. And I kind of would say it's almost like a less pretentious Halloween party.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly how it is.
We'll vlog the next one that we go to so you guys can see kind of a little bit more about it. But we love to go to them. Oh, we also have puppies. We don't have any kids. We don't want any kids because we travel so much, but we do have awesome little doggies. I'm going to get them.
Should I help you get one?
Yeah. Hi, Bulldog. So this is Mochi.
And I just woke Lychee up. This is Lychee.
Mochi is my French Bulldog. She's the best thing ever made in the world.
Lychee's a koala. She sleeps 19 hours out of the day.
Nobody believes us when we tell them that we have little dogs that are super chill and they don't bark at all.
No.
They're quiet and they're chill and they're awesome.
Lychee, hold on. Sit up.
Lychee's actually from Australia.
We brought her back because she's my baby.
We lived in Australia for a year and we got Lychee over there and we ended up bringing her back.
It was very expensive to bring a dog back.
Yeah, her plane ticket was more expensive than ours.
Combined.
Anyway, that's our puppies and this is our little family. Okie dokie, that's kind of enough personal information.
People always ask what we used to do before.
Yeah, we can get into that for sure. If you guys have other questions about like our kind of personal lives, leave them in the comments. We're pretty open. We're happy to answer them. But a little bit more about our backgrounds in general. I have no formal education after high school. After I graduated high school, I went directly into sales. And that was by design. I could have gone to college. I had good grades and I did well in the SATs. I could have had a scholarship to go. But my game plan was to go into sales and then start my own business from the very beginning. And that's kind of what I did. So at 17 years old, I actually joined a door-to-door sales company. I literally went door-to-door selling stuff. And it honestly wasn't that bad of a job. It was really hot outside because we're in Florida. But it really wasn't that bad. I recruited some of our friends and we kind of just had fun with it. We would go and we would kind of like go to the mall and spend some money and then go out and make that money back. That was the circle of life at the time. But we were having fun and honestly we were making pretty good money. At the time I was 17 years old and I was making anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a week. And I was literally working like 3 hours a day knocking doors because I was good at sales. Yeah. I grew up in almost like a sales environment. My dad has always been in sales. He is the best salesperson that I know. And I got to grow up watching what he did. So it was very nice to be able to do that. And then I was able to take those skills from a young age and use that in sales. So yeah, so I started out door to door. I ended up taking an opportunity with the same company and moving to California with some of my friends. And I spent a year out in Southern California, off and on. 6 months there, came back for a little bit, and then I went back for 6 months. It was a disaster.
Oh my gosh.
The company that I was working for had a contract with AT&T, and they lost their contract like 6 months in and didn't tell us. So basically I had built up a little bit of savings while I was in Florida, about $10,000. And I went out to California, 18 years old at the time, built a nice big team. It had like 20 people working for me, and they basically cut it off and didn't tell us, and they said the money was coming. I ended up paying my guys out of pocket. So I went to California with 10 grand and I came back broke. Like paid them out of pocket, got nothing out of it. That company has been sued, class action lawsuit. I got like $200 out of the lawsuit, which is great.
Yep.
But that was the first kind of, okay, what do I do? You know what I mean? It was the first kind of like, I failed. I didn't really fail, but the company failed me. So how do I pick myself back up from nothing, right? And I was young enough at this point to be able to do that. And that's kind of what I did. I moved back in with my parents, started selling timeshare, working for a resort out there, or in Orlando, driving an hour to go work at a resort, which again went well. I did really well. I was like the 5th top salesperson in the company. And then kind of same thing happened. They stopped paying me. I ended up in the same place. I wasn't managing my money very well at that point. I hadn't met Allie yet. Well, we had kind of met, but we weren't living together.
Talking
or anything.
about money at that point.
Yeah, money
Still
just
a bit
wasn't
early. Because I'm very good with money.
Yes, Allie's very good with money. If it wasn't for Allie, we would have no money. So I went from timeshare, and then after that happened, a switch kind of turned in my brain where it was like, I can't work for somebody else again. It's just, I can't put my own efforts into somebody else's hands. I would rather create something and have it be my fault that it failed than leave it in the hands of somebody else. So that's what I did. My dad and I started we started like a vacation club type of company. We brought in a friend investor, and we spent a little bit of money building this nice little company. And it crashed and burned.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it. We were just dating. I was in college.
Yeah.
I was doing my own thing. You're doing your thing.
Yep. So my first company failed. So I picked myself back up again, and I started another company out of nothing. And that company failed. And the only reason I'm telling you this, guys, is not to say that this is going to happen to you if you want to start your own business, but it does happen. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you don't have a lot of money, if you're just starting something from scratch, it's a learning process. You know, you have to figure it out by yourself. And that's how I learned. I learned from my failures. And the third company that we put together was a overwhelming success. We did really, really well with it. We built that company up within a year to a very substantial amount, and we ended up selling that company for a decent profit. And by that time, Allie and I had been dating for quite a while. We were serious. Yeah. I knew I wanted to marry Allie. Yeah. And after we sold that company, I had a little bit of money. I bought a ring.
So sweet.
We went out to the Grand Canyon
because Ryan asked me if I wanted to move to Australia.
Oh, yeah, that
with
is a
him.
good. Forgot about that.
Forgot about that, and I said absolutely yes. I want to move to another country down under. It just sounded like such an amazing adventure, and I said before we move, because we decided that we were going to move permanently.
Right.
I said, I have to see the Grand Canyon before we move, because what's the likelihood of coming back and seeing the Grand Canyon? So
I was like, perfect. That's the perfect opportunity to propose. So we did. We went out to Vegas and we stayed in like a super nice room in the Venetian.
Ryan surprised me with all the beautiful, wonderful details. He planned everything.
Yeah,
everything.
It was the first time I had a nice little chunk of cash. So I was like, boom, let's do it. We went out. We did like the helicopter ride into the Grand Canyon. Did the
boat ride on the river.
And then I got our tour guide to take us to like a secluded location that you're not really supposed to go in the Grand Canyon. And no one else was around. We were right on the edge of it. And he recorded me proposing. So it was really sweet. It wasn't isolated.
It was amazing. Every once in a while, he still messages us
to
see how we're doing.
Yeah.
So sweet.
And then we moved. We moved to Australia. My dad and my mom and my 2 younger brothers also moved to Australia, and we started the same company over there. And the type of company was a SEO company, search engine optimization. So we very simply, we ranked businesses on Google, and we built websites for people. So the nice thing about when we moved to Australia was that idea when we moved there was brand new. People weren't even thinking about getting on Google. It was the weirdest thing in the world, but Australia is kind of behind about 10 years where we were to America. So for us, going into that type of environment with the knowledge that we had from our past company, we absolutely killed it over there. Within a year, or really it was within about 8 months, we had built our SEO company up in Western Australia to the 2nd largest in the country, right? It went really, really well, but something for us just didn't click in Australia. We love Australia, we love the people, it just didn't work out for us because it's a completely different lifestyle where we were.
Yeah. It was hard to accept a lot of the things that were different over there because you always want to move somewhere where the grass is greener on the other side. And when we moved there, we felt disappointed in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, adjusting was the biggest thing. Even though our company was doing very well and we're making good money, we just couldn't justify, we were spending most of it, you know what I mean? Like the living expenses are very high over there. Like Ali said, the food expenses are high. But most of all for us, it just wasn't the right environment. We didn't have our friends. It was honestly difficult to make friends over there just because we have different sort of personalities, you know, especially for me.
I made us a group of friends, but everyone was really cliquey.
Everybody
was
hard
to get in, and then all the guys, they just talked about like doing construction on houses.
Right, and I'm not.
And you're not that kind of guy.
I'm like the least handyman you'll ever meet. Allison fixes everything in the house.
And all the girls would group together, and all the guys would group together, and we like to hang out all together with girls and guys, and everybody would separate into the females and the males. It was very strange.
So we ended up moving back to America. We sold 20% of our company to a manager to manage everything for us over there, and we moved back to America. With the plan being we would go back and forth between America and Australia. The nice thing about coming back to America was we still were making income from our business in Australia, and we're able to use that to live off of in America, and we used it to start another company in America, which was a social media management company. Now, this company was the last thing that I did before we went into reselling, okay? And it was a great company, but we did something a little bit different than we did with our other 2 companies that were successful. And what we did is we kind of tried to set it up like a Facebook style business. We pumped in $60,000 at the very beginning. We hired a lot of people. We took big risks. We had by the end of it, we had 28 people working for us. And we basically ran out of money is what it came down to. I was working so hard. I was working like 80 hours a week. We had two offices. I was not taking a paycheck. Everything that we were making was going back into the company to hire more people, do more product research, and try to build the business, right? Still making money from Australia, but again, a lot of that money that I was getting, I was also putting back into the business. So it just wasn't working out. I was killing myself, working too many hours, and it was starting to affect our day-to-day relationship.
Yeah, Ryan was just, you were so sad and miserable, and I wasn't a part of these businesses. I always had other jobs, and I never had like a great job. It's so hard in Florida to find like a really good job where you want to work your way up. Mm-hmm. And for, I guess, whenever you were doing this social media management business, I was working at an apartment complex as a leasing agent, and I was killing it, and I was doing really well. I mean, I hit the top of our Eastern, like there were 2 different categories you could be the top 5 in, and I was top 5 in both. And we were secret shopped, and I was the first person to hit 100% at that apartment complex in probably, I think they said 12 years. It was an older apartment complex, but I was working always on weekends, and then you were always working, and you were miserable, and I was like, this job, what's the point? We came back to America, we should be living it up, we should be happy. We need to find something that makes us happy. And then Ryan said, well, maybe we should do a business together, because him and his dad always did a business, but...
So we ended
Yeah.
up, that social media management company that we had, we ended up selling to another business, and that it's still running. It's still a good running company. We sold it to a business that basically had the cash flow to run the business the right way. And we broke even on it, didn't make any money, didn't really lose any money. But like Ali said, about 6 months later after selling that business, we were talking together about what do we do now? You know, let's start another company, let's figure this out. I didn't want to get back into SEO or social media management. I was just sick of it at that point.
Yeah.
It wasn't fulfilling me at all. So
We brainstormed.
we
for
brainstormed,
weeks
yeah.
weeks.
And then one Saturday morning we were just like, let's kind of stop brainstorming and let's just take some money and let's go garage selling. When I was a kid, my family used to move a lot. And we would have garage sales every single time we moved. And I remembered that my parents would make a decent amount of money. But I also remembered like they would sell stuff that they had bought for next to nothing. So maybe we could go out to garage sales and find stuff that we could then sell on eBay.
And I always grew up garage selling for fun. Like, we would just garage sell for fun when I was a kid. It
Yeah.
was just one of my favorite things. And on Saturdays, we didn't want to spend money because we weren't making money. And we thought, yeah, I mean, we can go out and garage sale for fun. We like shopping anyway, so we figured, why not shop for cheap and shop for fun and maybe
Right.
shop for profit?
And that's how we started in the reselling business. It was almost by, I don't know, mistake. Not really, like we wanted to
Yeah.
do it, but it wasn't. When we first decided to do it, it definitely was not like, this is what we're gonna do for a living.
Definitely
it was,
not.
It was more like, let's just go make a little bit of money and try it out. But that's how we started, guys. We took $200, we went out to garage sales and we bought some stuff. And then we listed that stuff on eBay and we turned that $200 into $400. And then we took that $400 and we bought some more stuff.
Yeah.
And then we turned that $400 into $800.
And it
then,
took a while.
And it took a while. And we made mistakes. You know what I mean? At one point, I took $300 and I went to a thrift store and I bought a bunch of stuff without researching it, just thinking these are brands that sell well. And we had to redonate all of it, and I lost all the money.
Yep, that happened.
So we made mistakes along the way. But you know, my business mindset basically was we bought something for $1 and we were able to sell it for $4 and profit 100% after fees, right? So my business mind said, oh my gosh, this is a 50% profit. It's rare, net profit. It's rare in business that you're able to make that sort of a return. How do we do this in scale? How do we scale it up and make it an actual business? So that's basically where we went. We started going to garage sales, then we went to thrift stores, then we went to auctions, then we started bulk buying, then we started connecting with distributors and doing wholesale, and now we have a warehouse space. We buy in big bulk. We still like to go to garage sales and thrift stores, but we also buy in bulk to resell. And we've literally taken a $200 investment and we've turned that now into a company that makes us 6 figures a year. By no means are we saying we're multimillionaires, but we have a comfortable lifestyle. And we have a lifestyle that we really,
happy.
Yeah, it makes us happy.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
We look forward to waking up in the morning and going and doing the things
Yeah.
that we're doing, because we're not slaving and killing ourselves, and we can go away when we feel like going away.
Exactly.
And that was really important to us, is to be able to travel
Right.
when we want. It was the freedom. We could work much harder.
Mhm.
We could work
Yeah.
many more hours every week. Many more hours.
If we put in double the work, we would absolutely make double the money, but we would have to put in double the work.
And there are lots of people that do what we do,
Yeah.
and they'll buy entire warehouses. And that's amazing. And those people are working very, very hard
For
to
sure.
make the money that they're making.
Yeah. If we can make a decent amount of money and then use our money to go travel, that is the lifestyle that we want to live. We're not trying to work 80, 100 hours a week. We're trying to still work hard, but then go and enjoy the hard work that we've put in, basically.
Yeah, we live modestly. We don't have
Yeah.
very fancy cars. We don't have a very expensive home.
Toyota Camry for the win!
Yeah, and I have a Fiat, and we both bought used vehicles. And whenever we need something, we always research it and look for the best deal. We look for it used, typically, if we can buy it used. I mean, we're really smart with our money.
And then the main reason why we even started this YouTube channel in the first place is well, it was for a couple reasons. The first one was we wanted to kind of share our journey with you guys. And the second one is we wanted to help you new and experienced resellers kind of not make the same mistakes that we made and get you to the next level in reselling. So you'll notice that in our channel, a lot of our videos are about like what to buy, how to buy it, how to negotiate, where to sell it, you know, how not to make mistakes in the reselling world, because we have made those mistakes.
Yeah, we're all about sharing our knowledge,
yes,
so that other people can find their happy place and pay their bills, pay off their student loans, and maybe you could never go out to eat and now you can go out to eat. You could never afford to go to the movies and now you can go to the movies. I mean, there's no point in not helping other people when we have the ability to do so.
That's right.
And someone even asked us in one of our comments, why do we share our knowledge? Why do we tell other people and, you know, what's good to buy and not keep everything a secret? Well, I mean, I'm all about helping other people because people turn around and they'll help you. And even if nobody were to turn around and help us, and people have sent us awesome, cool things, which is amazing and it means so much to us. But even if that didn't happen, just knowing that we're helping other people and getting those messages with people saying, hey, you guys, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have ever started an eBay store and I wouldn't be able to pay my bills every month. And I was struggling and I was drowning, and now I'm comfortable. I can go to the movies, I can go out to eat, I can buy the things that I want to buy, whereas before they never could. So just hearing that from people is what makes YouTube for me just worth all the time and energy. And I love that.
And that is so true, because guys, these videos are not easy to make. It takes a lot of work for us to set everything up. The equipment's expensive. I edit them, so editing takes like 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes.
And I have to do my hair and my makeup.
It's a lot of work, it really is. And sometimes, you know, we'll get to the point where we're like, I don't know if we really want to make another video today. And then we'll get a message from you guys that says something like Ali said, it's changed our lives. So just know that we absolutely read those messages and they mean the world to us. So please send them if you have them. And we also know that reselling full-time or reselling in general is not for everyone, and that's okay. Some people just watch our channel because we put out travel videos and we put out like our day-to-day vlog videos, so that's fine too. You don't have to be a reseller to watch our channel.
Some people like to just see what we find at thrift stores and garage sales. I mean, I love to know what other people have found. I love to watch people's thrift hauls, and that's why I started doing thrift hauls, because I wanted to share with everybody what other people have shared with everyone. So I just thought that that was one of those fun things that everyone could really enjoy.
Although I'm pretty sure that most of you guys watch our channel for the purple hair and the tank tops. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Why don't we make shirts that say purple hair and tanks?
Ooh, yeah. You guys want some shirts?
We should make shirts.
Yes. So yeah, guys, that's a little bit about us, a little bit more about our business. If you like this video, again, please give it a thumbs up. Oh, if you guys have any questions at all, personal questions, business-related questions, whatever questions you have, please leave them in the comments. We're going to be doing a couple Ask Me Anything Q&A type videos. So we need your questions. Give us the questions and we'll put out videos of us answering them.
But a question you don't have to ask is, my favorite color is red.
And mine's green, so there you go.
Together we make Christmas.
Together we are Regrally Roots. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's really because of you guys that we even make these videos to begin with. So thank you very much. Again, I am Ryan Roots.
And I'm Ali Roots.
And together we are Rally Roots. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.